Lesser known ADHD traits, part 1. People with ADHD tend to see lots of connections that other people don't see. Sometimes even other people with ADHD. We just form these associations quickly and easily usually. It's one of the reasons that we're such great brainstormers. On the good side, this means that we solve problems in unique ways. We see things that maybe other people wouldn't. Of course, we miss stuff too, let's be honest. If you're forming some kind of problem-solving group in a work setting or something like that, you want to have at least one person with ADHD so that they can see ways to solve problems that other folks may not. On the bad side, this can mean that sort of seemingly simple questions are harder to answer. We might see things that we don't want to leave out of it or have a hard time saying anything very definitively, especially if we have a science background. Seeing all of these connections can actually make it harder for folks with ADHD to take multiple choice tests. It takes us longer to filter out all of those weird connections that I can see because I can find a way to make more than one answer correct, even if it's material that I've actually studied pretty well and do know the real answer. But it can be hard to filter out the ones that are a little bit more of a reach. So it just takes that extra time. That's why some folks with ADHD taking a lot of multiple choice tests may elect to ask for more time on those tests. And seeing more connections can actually add to decision fatigue. Because we see all of these extra connections, we have more to whittle away to make a solid decision on something. And it can be exhausting. Seeing lots of connections can also make it hard to write simple small papers or simple small emails. We see so many things that we could include. That's why when given the choice between lots of small projects or one single big one, some folks with ADHD will opt for the big one. Now sometimes we can make the big one so complicated that's not helpful, but there is less filtering out of those extra things when it's just one big one. For example, I have a client who's a writer who has recently said, I am only allowed to answer these questions in a small article so that they can't go off trying to answer all the questions. When it comes down to it, seeing lots of connections isn't good or bad. It's being prepared for the situation at hand. Do I need to be prepared? Do I need to ask for help or extra time? Or is this someplace I could rock it because I'm gonna have so many ideas? It's just best to go in knowing.